everyone, and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level lesson, and today we're going to be talking about using to and not enough, and using that within the context of leaving complaints or negative reviews. So you can answer these questions about eating out. How often do you eat out? Do you have a favorite restaurant? Do you often eat the same thing, or do you like to try different dishes? What is more important to you, the quality of food or the quality of service? And in your culture, is it normal to add a tip to the check? So in some countries, the customer is expected to add a tip to the check. The tip is a way of saying thank you to the service staff. So here are some statements by these three people. Person A says, we always tip 20% on top of the check. It's part of the culture. Everyone does it, even if the food or service is not great. Person B says, I leave a tip if the service is good, but usually I just leave a tip because waiters aren't paid very well in my country. And person C says, we don't tip in my country, but I always leave a tip when I travel to the United States. You just have to follow the rules of the culture. Now think about a time when you didn't have a good experience at a cafe or restaurant. Did you have to wait a long time for the food? Was the service bad? Did the restaurant charge you the wrong amount? Did the waiter bring the wrong food? Or was the food bad? And what other things could give you a negative experience at a restaurant? And who would you complain to? So here are three quotes from reviews of Cafe 1, and what were the customers unhappy about? A says pretty good food but let down by disappointing service. They need to improve the service. It's just not good enough. I would give it a miss if I were you. So here it sounds like perhaps the food was okay, but the service was poor. So have you ever written a negative review about a cafe or restaurant? Okay, now we're going to read this short review of Cafe 1 and then answer the questions. You can pause the video and read this on your own, or you can follow along as I read. So this is Barbara from London, England. She gives it 3 stars. Pretty good food, but let down by disappointing service. We went to Cafe 1 for breakfast last week. The food was pretty good for the most part. I had the blueberry pancakes and they were delicious, although there wasn't enough maple syrup. My boyfriend was happy with his scrambled eggs. The problem was that the service was too slow. The cafe was almost empty, however, it took 10 minutes for someone to take our order and then another 30 minutes for the food to arrive. So the customer liked the food. But they said the service was slow. And will this customer return to the cafe? Well, it's unclear. They don't really say whether they will or not. So we're not really sure whether they will return to this cafe or not. So we use to before an adjective or adverb when it means more than the right amount with a negative feeling. So we often use to before adjectives. The food was too expensive. The restaurant was too noisy. My dish was too spicy. So I expected spicy food, but too spicy means more than needed, wanted, or necessary. We also use to before adverbs. I can't understand the server. He speaks too quietly. Okay, this is another review of Cafe 1. This is foodie3.eats from Toronto, Canada. He gave it 2 stars. They need to improve the service. It's just not good enough. I went to Cafe 1 on a Sunday morning to have breakfast with a group of friends. What a nightmare. The place was really busy and the music was too loud. It was very noisy. There weren't enough waiters and we had to wait forever for someone to take our order. When the food finally arrived, some of the order was wrong, so we had to send it back. They made a mistake on the bill too. So what does this customer complain about? That the place was busy, noisy, music was too loud. They had to wait for someone to take their order. The order was wrong, and then there was a mistake on the bill. So why did they wait a long time to place their order? Because he felt that there weren't enough waiters. Okay, we use enough to express an amount or quantity. Like to, we use not enough to show the wrong amount of something with a negative feeling. We use not enough with adjectives. The food wasn't hot enough. We also use not enough with adverbs. The waiter didn't take our order quickly enough. And we use not enough very often with nouns. There weren't enough waiters. There wasn't enough salad on my plate. There isn't enough spice in this curry. All right, now you're going to complete the text with the words from the boxes. This one is from Justin Wynn from Mexico City, Mexico. He gives it 1 star. I would give it a miss if I were you. My sister and I went to Cafe One last Saturday morning. It was very quiet, and a waitress quickly took our order. Unfortunately, the breakfast was a real disappointment. I had a traditional English breakfast, but the eggs were maybe too salty. And the bacon was maybe too sweet. The toast was cold. My sister ordered a fruit salad, but she said it. Actually, wait. I think this is wrong. I think the eggs weren't. The eggs. Let's take a look. I'm not sure on this. The eggs were too salty, and the bacon wasn't hot enough. Sorry. The toast was cold too. My sister ordered a fruit salad, but she said it was too sweet. And there wasn't enough yogurt. We both agreed that the prices were too expensive. All right, so now you're going to practice to with adjectives and adverbs. Complete the sentences with to plus an adverb or to plus an adjective. You can pause the video, try that on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, it's too dark in here. I can't see. Can you please turn on the light? We'd like a table indoors, please. It's too windy on the terrace. Jared, you're eating too fast. You will be sick. I'm sorry, but I can't eat this food. It's too spicy. I can't read the menu. The writing is too small. Can you please give us another table? The people next to us are too noisy. Unfortunately, the kitchen closed an hour ago. You're too late to eat here this evening. So now read each question and provide an answer using not enough plus a noun or not plus an adjective plus enough. So why did you have to wait so long for the food? There weren't enough waiters. Why did you send the food back to the kitchen? It wasn't hot enough. Why didn't your children like the restaurant? There wasn't enough choice on the children's menu. Why did you ask the waiter for more Parmesan cheese? There wasn't enough on my dish. Why did you ask the waiter for salt and pepper? There wasn't enough salt and pepper on the food. And why did you complain to the manager about the waiter? There were not enough waiters to take our order quickly. All right, so what do people complain about when staying at a hotel? So first, create a list of the 5 most common things that people complain about a hotel. Then listen to part of a conversation and did the customer complain about any of the things on your list? So go ahead, pause the video, make your list, and then restart when you're ready to hear the audio.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yes. Could I speak to the manager, please?
I'm afraid he is not here at the moment. Can I be of any assistance?
Well, I hope so. I've been staying here for a couple of nights, and we're having one problem after another.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Perhaps you could tell me what the problems are, and then I can let the manager know when he gets back.
Well, we arrived 2 days ago. The first problem was with the room. The air conditioning was too cold.
Okay, so the air conditioning was too cold. Did you have that on your list of the 5 things that people might complain about at a hotel? All right, now which of these statements is true? We'll go ahead and listen and then answer the questions, true or false.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yes. Could I speak to the manager, please?
I'm afraid he is not here at the moment. Can I be of any assistance?
Well, I hope so. I've been staying here for a couple of nights, and we're having one problem after another.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Perhaps you could tell me what the problems are, and then I can let the manager know when he gets back.
Well, we arrived 2 days ago. The first problem was with the room. The air conditioning was too cold.
All right. So the guest is speaking with the manager. That's false because the person said the manager wasn't there at the moment. The guest has been at the hotel for more than a week. That's false. He said just for a couple of nights. And the guest has had more than one problem. That is true because he said it had been one thing after another. All right, now we'll listen to a longer part of the conversation and answer the questions.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Yes. Could I speak to the manager, please?
I'm afraid he is not here at the moment. Can I be of any assistance?
Well, I hope so. I've been staying here for a couple of nights, and we're having one problem after another.
I'm very sorry to hear that. Perhaps you could tell me what the problems are, and then I can let the manager know when he gets back.
Well, we arrived 2 days ago. The first problem was with the room. The air conditioning was too cold.
Right.
Then there was a problem with the bed, which was too hard. In addition, there weren't enough pillows, and they were too soft.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't mention this earlier.
No. We managed to get that sorted out yesterday. We changed rooms, and the new room is much better. It's not too cold, the bed is softer, and we have enough pillows.
Okay, that's good.
But now we're having problems with the guests in the room next door. Last night, I think they were having a party. It was too noisy, and we couldn't sleep. We phoned reception, and a minute later, the music was turned down a bit. But we still didn't get enough sleep.
All right, so the bed was too hard. Doesn't say anything about the hotel pool. He said there weren't enough pillows and they were too soft. Didn't mention anything about the breakfast. The air conditioning was too cold and the guests in the room next door were too noisy. All right, so we're going to correct some of the differences between the text and the audio.
But now we're having problems with the guests in the room next door. Last night, I think they were having a party. It was too noisy, and we couldn't sleep. We phoned reception, and a minute later, the music was turned down a bit. But we still didn't get enough sleep.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Right. Well, my wife is worried that the same thing is going to happen tonight.
Well, you will be pleased to know that those guests checked out this morning, and that room will be empty this evening.
Really? That's fantastic news. My wife will be thrilled.
Okay, so here Instead of fight, it was party. Too noisy. The music was turned down a bit, and we still didn't get enough sleep. And here it says those guests checked out this morning. All right, so you're at a hotel for a week. Your vacation is not going well, and there are a lot of problems at the hotel. If you are the guest, which of the four things are you going to complain about? And so here are some examples. The swimming pool is not clean, there isn't enough food at the breakfast bar, the room isn't large enough, the beach is too far away from the hotel, and it's too hot to walk there. And then if you're working at the hotel reception, how are you going to fix each problem? And then decide which things you will talk about and prepare a conversation. So you want to write your own dialogue, pick one or more of these problems and write a dialogue between the guest and the hotel reception. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and I hope to see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.